Welcome everyone to Dogs Down South.
Welcome to the roller coaster.
Hope everyone's doing well
Welcome
tonight.
to you.
It is Tuesday night here on Dogs Down South, and this is the 100th episode, part 2, but it's a pretty special episode. Fish, man, it's crazy to know, man, we've been rocking this kind of off and on, man, for like 100 episodes, right?
I know.
Man, I'll never forget like the first time that me and you talked about, hey man, you want to come hang out on a podcast? You were like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really know, man. But the cool thing about it is like, it just really has been that, man. I hope everybody has enjoyed 100 episodes, but it's been fun, man, because we just get to talk Georgia football. But give me a little reminisce, man. Like when you first were like, let's do a podcast, man. Let's like Ted starting a podcast. Maybe I come hang out on the podcast. Like, what were you thinking?
I don't know, man. Just never done a podcast before. This is actually the only one I've ever done. And like you started it, and the first few episodes you did, I was chiming in a lot, in the
That's
comments.
right. Yeah, I remember.
And then you were like, "Hey, I want to come hang out," and I was like, "Sure." Yeah, it sounded like fun, and here we are, 100 episodes later, man. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, dude, I remember that. I'm glad you said that because I was thinking the other day, I was like, how did and I was like, Fish was like #1 support, man. He was like in the chats, and I'm like, Fish is like typing like miles of sentences, and I'm like, why don't you just come hang out, man? Maybe people would rather hear you talk and tell me what you're typing, man. And man, we've hit so many like small milestones. Just to, I was kind of reminiscing and looking into like some new things that have been trending. I mean, we have things like our TikTok page, which we're almost there, man. We're probably about 50, 60 viewers away from 3,000 on TikTok, which is kind of cool. I mean, look, man, at the end of the day, like, it's not about how many, although a lot of people measure it that way, but it's like the fact that we're bringing 3,000 people, trust us, we're bringing Georgia content to them is pretty cool. So that's really cool. I've been checking out, we posted, you can go check out part 1 of the 100th episode where I hung out with Rich Man. Rich Man was also somebody who was chiming in. He's a good buddy. We go way back, and Rich Man was hanging out. It was all 3 of us, and Bobby Riles as well. And so the cool thing to go back and see from that is like Apple Podcasts now is up to around like almost 600, 700. I mean, when you're including, I know we had a little bit of a reset because when we changed platforms, we're probably in the 700, 800 streams. So, I mean, look, man, to be something that like is 100 episodes and we never knew or intended or see where it was going to go, like 800 people have to listen to at least 51% of the podcast. So that's cool, man. So up to 700, 800 streams. And it's just cool to see, man. It's been fun. I want it to keep growing because of the fact that people keep wanting to know about like good content and not just listen to us babble. So I hope we're bringing that. So thanks if you're supporting. And Fish, it's always just fun to hang out, man. It doesn't feel like work. It just feels like we're delivering good content and having a good time doing it. So
talking about something we're both passionate about, man. It's not work. It's fun. It's easy. It's great.
I agree, man. I agree so much. Well, listen, we if you haven't already done so, please go and like and follow. Though we are on multiple platforms. We're on YouTube. Right now, we're on YouTube Live. So if you can catch us right now, we're on TikTok Live as we speak as well, Facebook Live. So chime in, say hello. Also, 24 hours later, obviously, we just talked about it, but Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Amazon Podcast. So go like, follow on whatever platform you listen to, and go check us out. We appreciate the support. Fish G Day is in the books. Me and Rich Man, we breezed through a little bit of the offense, but I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I knew I would have plenty left for you to kind of venture back into offense because I know you got to take on them too. And so I got enough to kind of venture back in. I definitely want to give you a shot too before we break down defense and things of that nature. But my first question is, man, like, what was your overall take on G Day? What jumped out to you from an offensive standpoint of view?
7 quarterbacks? I didn't even know we had 7 quarterbacks roster or on campus. I mean, that's wild. That's crazy. I mean, that number 2 spot, maybe the number 3 spot, definitely is apparently wide open. Kirby wouldn't
Yeah.
have played that many, people, Saturday if he thought, okay, it's Puglisi Montgomery or Montgomery Puglisi. That Hezekiah, what's his name? I can't remember
Millender.
his last name. Yeah, Millender. He looked pretty
Yeah.
good. He didn't look bad,
Yeah.
and I don't know how far down the depth chart he is, but yeah, that's probably the biggest thing as far as the offense goes that stood out to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I've actually, I may regret my, it was more of just a thought, but I did go on and, I put a little excerpt on TikTok earlier today from Sunday night where we were talking and I made a statement. I was like, man, I was like, when you look at Ryan Puglisi and Ryan Montgomery, the two Ryans, and look at the body of work, and yes, I can say a lot about Puglisi. He's got a really live arm, NFL talented arm. You look at Montgomery. There's been talk about how much he improved during spring. Um, but the first thing I said was, I was like, I felt like Hezekiah Millender and Bryson Beaver, when they came in, they just added a little bit of a spunk, added a little bit
Hmm.
of a hype to the
Yep.
offense. It seemed exciting. It seemed really live. Richmond even mentioned it kind of gave you that feeling of when, Stetson Bennett came in the game for the first time for oh man, I'm gonna botch his name. Who was the quarterback when he took over for him? We talked so many names. Anyways,
Oh my
and he comes
god.
in and
Like 3 years
he
ago, can't compute.
yeah, I mean I can't either, man. Like I said, we don't do this for a living, right? But he comes in and he just ignites a spark, right? Whether it's with their
Yep.
legs, whether it's with some throws on a run, things of that nature. But I don't know, man. I'm not trying to sit here and down a hill of should we talk about who's going to be, God forbid, if something were to happen to Gunner, but who would be, QB 2/3. And I even
Yep.
said like Kirby would be laughing at us because he'd be like, guys, I'm in practice every day. Like it's definitely Ryan Puglisi, and I get that. But do you agree that like I don't want this to be our first take of the night, but it might as well be like, do you agree that you saw a little bit more enthusiasm from those two guys than the Ryans?
Well, yeah, I mean, they were fresh faces. Everybody likes new things, and the one transfer from Oregon, Beaver, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Hezekiah got him a rushing touchdown, ran one in Saturday. That's exciting. I
Yeah.
mean, even though we're used to seeing that out of Gunner, but if God forbid something does happen, it's nice to know that we have a not a mere image, coming in for in relief, but somebody that can do sort of the same thing, so it makes play calling a little easier and all that stuff. Maybe a little more simplified, but same type of offense we can still run. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I like it. I like competition because iron sharpens iron. That's how everybody gets better, because they're playing for something they want. They're not just playing, okay, I know I'm going to be on the scout team this year, next year, I'll whatever, whatever. You know, Being able to be in a competition for that 2/3 spot, man, that's going to bring out the best in everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that very well said. I agree. JT Daniels is who I was looking for with that one.
There you go.
I was like, what's going on? But I mean,
Kind of just want to
yeah,
forget all about that. Just kind of want to just brush that to the side.
yeah, man,
I had
it definitely is. Definitely is. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. Like you look at Georgia and you go, there is going to be a year where, I mean, you go back to quarterbacks and you see what Stetson Bennett added to the offense, and you go, that's what won us national championships. And you go through some of these names, like I'm looking through some of these names now, like, I mean, some of these names are going to like make you kind of curl a little bit, but I'm sorry, but Dewan Mathis, Jake Fromm, obviously Jacob Eason, Grayson Lambert, Hudson Mason, I can't say something
oh
about
my,
that. I mean, Hudson came on
yep,
with us, so
yep,
kudos to Hudson. I'm not talking about you, buddy, but DJ Shockley, David Green, Quincy Carter. The it factor in a lot of those things is Georgia's not really used to a true dual threat. Now,
Yeah.
You think would you call Gunner more of a true dual threat, or do you think he's more of a I can bail myself out of things with my legs?
I think he runs. I don't. He runs hard and he runs well. Um, I don't think that's his first option. I don't even think it's 50-50. I think it could be, and I think, and maybe, not to dwell on this anymore because I don't want to live in the past, but he probably should have ran the ball maybe a little more because he was getting yards, and maybe we get that first down anyway. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
but what we're dealing with now, and this isn't a shot at Gunner, but all the hate I had, all the hating I did, and smack talking I did about Gunner, about Stetson. I mean, we miss him.
yeah.
We haven't found a guy like him, not like him that plays like him, but like him and what he can bring to the offense and the stability. No offense to Gunner, but Gunner's shaky sometimes.
Mhm.
Gunner he doesn't play the same every week.
Mhm.
He'll put 2 or 3 really good weeks in a row, and then boom, Georgia Tech. But then Texas, right after that, or Alabama, whoever, and then he'll come and he'll show up, and not that he doesn't always do that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just the consistency, I think, is what I miss from
yeah,
Stetson the most.
yeah. And I mean, when you look at Gunner at G Day, here's the good news for Georgia fans. Like, we're going to break down a lot of things tonight, but let's really dive into Gunner right now. I personally will tell you that there was a very small sample size of Gunner, but
Hmm.
one thing that I will tell you that I really loved is they are extending some different looks for him. You saw it.
Hmm.
Um, Also, man, the pocket presence, the little bit I saw of Gunner was so much improved, man. Like there was a play where he hit, I want to say that was Dandridge, for about a 25 yarder.
Hmm.
It was actually a really cool run play. It was we haven't done a lot out of the pistol where we misdirect and we show a lot of motion and flow going to the right, and we're actually intending to go back the other direction. And what happened was the block on the end was missed, and normally that would be a play where Gunner sees and he goes, "Man, I'm stuck." Right?
Hmm.
The end has beaten the left tackle, and it happened. I saw this. I mean, I did a second take and broke down some. I mean, having Hulu and being able to go back and rewatch it.
I'm watching it right
Um,
now.
yeah. So he beats him, but Gunner, the old Gunner, would have gave up on the play.
Yep.
He did a really great, like he did a trust step. Reestablished the pocket, and instead of a play where he might have created 4 or 5 yards, he hit the receiver who was running butt naked in the zone for a 25-yard play. Right now,
Yep.
why is this all important? Because we want explosives this year, right? What is
Big
the
time.
difference? Last year, Gunner probably could have made 5 yards out of nothing, right? And it become a
Yeah.
positive play. But instead of
Yep.
making a 5 yard play and we're 2nd and 5, we just made a 25-yard big play that now puts us 1st and 10 in their territory. And that's exactly what happened. So,
Yep.
like, that play alone told a lot of the story. Did you see that play by chance? It was kind of first
Yeah.
quarter. First
Yeah. I
quarter.
saw it a few minutes ago, actually. Yep.
Yeah. That right there for dog fans needs to stick in your head because
Hmm.
he wasn't seen a lot on Saturday, but when he was, like, I thought ball placement from Gunner was incredible. Like, I thought the throws that he
Yeah.
made were great. I mean, even
Yeah.
that throw, you could tell he threw him back away from the middle. He could have easily just put it anywhere in the ballpark, but because he led him back away from the middle, he was able to get like 5 or 6 more yards. Like that's growth right there. And
Yeah.
so I think it was on a line. I think it was a good throw. I think it had something on it. I think he stepped up. Those are all things you look at and go, man, okay, I'll take that play right there. And it tells it's a sample size of maybe improvement.
Yep.
Anything you saw that like jumped out with you from Gunner that you kind of go, all right, maybe this could be different this year. Anything you saw that you want to
Well,
add to it?
definitely there's a calmness about him in the pocket. Now, maybe I know I'm not about to get smashed Might have had something to do with that. But, I think he went out there and he took it really serious, but he was just seemed more relaxed. Last year he was kind of, I don't know, like, I don't know, just like antsy, it seemed like a little bit maybe, and like too quick to want to take off and run and not trust, what his offensive line is able to do.
Right.
I think our offensive line, not to take a right turn or anything, is going to give him a lot more time and enable him to be a lot more calm back there in the pocket this year.
Yeah.
Which is
No,
good. That's very
that's
important.
that's a good comment. I agree. And here's I'm just gonna make a bold statement. Okay. I'm sick and tired of hearing about the screen pass crap. Like I really am. Like I'm tired of hearing it because if we hate it so much, and the people that understand and that are Georgia fans and go, explosives, we've notated that explosives are going to be a part of our DNA, right? We want it to be. It's not that it's not.
Yeah.
But like, would you like to be the Ole Miss of 2022 where if the deep ball didn't hit, they were done? You can have an explosive offense and you can have the best explosive quarterback, you can have the best explosive coach, but if you're literally depending Tennessee, I'll bring Tennessee into the equation. You have
Alabama
a high power
last year.
offense, but if it doesn't click, man, your defense is on the field a lot. And so you have to have an offense that can churn and burn and give the defense, who we're gonna touch base on tonight, man. I'm excited about this defense, bro. I'm excited. But what I was gonna say is another play that I'll go to that makes me look at fans and go, this is gonna show your stupidity factor here is we've even added a layer to the horizontal / why we want to go get vertical game. I'll give you an example. We used to run a duos type set where we would intentionally put people in motion going left, and then we would snap the ball and we wanted to get the wide receiver jumped off the opposite side off the line. We wanted to get it to him really quick, and we wanted to get the tight end and the right tackle out and do what? Let him create space. It was one of the favorite plays of Zachariah Branch's days. Well, if any Georgia fan saw this on Saturday, did you see the evolvement of what they want to do with that play now? So now you look at Zachariah Branch and you go, this was our go-to guy. Hello. Our tight ends were on display. They added an element to it. They said, well, every time we do that, what are you doing with the tight end? You're burning the tight end because you're going, the tight end is going to be blocking. You're burning him, essentially.
Yep.
But did you see what they did Saturday? Now they've added an element where the tight end is going out there, but he's an option now, right?
Yep.
So when you noticed it when Prothro, I know it was Lucky, sorry, when Lucky went out and they threw the quick hitter outside, both of them were wide open. I'll give you another example, though. It was Chauncey. It was so wide open that the backside of it was open as well because the linebackers are in such a dilemma. They have to go, do I go for Gunner? Do I go for the running back? Do I go for the wide receiver? Or do I cover the middle of the field where the tight end, that's 6'6", Elias Williams? Like, it just makes it so hard. But all we see as a very, I'm going to call it right this, as a very fundamental, let's call it, be nice, a fundamental Georgia fan, we just see, wow, we throwing all these screen passes. Go back and go about 2-3 minutes into the G-Day game and watch the play where Chauncey Bowens catches the ball out of the backfield and look at all of the options that are wide open in a defense that is going to be real good this year, man. Like, going to be real good this year. And while we're there, man, like, you like Chauncey Bowens? How's Chauncey Bowens looking, man?
Dude, I know I said something about this during the game Saturday. It was one of the first things I said, dude. He looks ripped. I mean, is that Garrison Hurst or is that Chauncey Bowens? Like, it's hard to tell because that man was running hard Saturday, dude. And I mean, just stiff arms and just finishing plays, like falling forward, not backwards or sideways, getting an extra couple. Dude, I'm excited about him. I hope Nate Frazier, his foot, I hope it's nothing too bad. But, I think we've got some dudes behind him.
No, he's good, man. Nate's going to be fine. Dude, Chauncey Bowens is, bro, like, that guy put on. I agree with you. Like when you said it, I was like, you took the words out of my mouth, man.
He hit the weight room, man,
He hit
hard.
the weight room. He is a bowling ball, twitchy. I mean, just ran the ball so well on Saturday. I mean, it was hard. I mean, I love Nate and I don't know, man. Like, was it in no, but like it was fine. Like, and I'm glad it turned out great. You know, we all know Nate Frazier is going to be RB1 next year, but
hands
man,
down.
like Bowens was just a very. I mean, there was a play in there where he got the ball and the left side got blown up by Ajanye. Not because he overpowered anybody. Young tight end, left side, didn't know who he needed to have. Ajanye was the guy. And Ajanye is a very improved player this year. And
he made some
he
plays
did his job.
Saturday too.
He did his job. He just made it turn back in. Well, when he made it turn back in, Chauncey Bowens made Nazir Johnson fall flat on his face. He ran over. I think that was I forget who was in the middle of 30. I forget his name, but ran him over. And then after that, he rolled off of the other guy and got to it. Was one of the, I mean, I was like, that play is busted, man. And it wasn't any kind of freak run around the entire line. It was just an absolute display of lower body. I haven't seen that since a Nick Chubb or Todd Gurley type day when you could get in the hole like that and just make people miss because of how strong your lower body was and how efficient you were in just doing the little things, right? Remember the tire drills? Remember all these things? I mean, it's just those type drills, man.
Yep.
Not to mention him, but what? Anybody else that steps out? You're gonna say something? Go ahead.
Well, what I'm seeing, no, about him. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Sure will. I don't know. He just he went and intentionally made himself better this offseason. And I'm not saying I'm not glad he got hurt at all, but it kind of gave us a chance to see more of him and oh my God, Dowdell and Bo Walker, and then what's that other dude's name? Dwight Phillips.
Yeah, Dwight
kind of gave us a chance to see all of them, get a lot more playing time and what they can do, like what more about what they're about. Not that Nate would have played a lot anyway, but
Yeah. So while you're on that topic, Kirby mentioned that they call him Peanut, and Peanut is Dwight Phillips Jr. So just so everybody knows, Dwight Phillips Jr. Do you honestly realize how scripted this day was for some people, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was a display of Kirby showing you what I have in my hand, right?
Yep.
Dwight, listen to me right now. Dwight Phillips is going to be a problem this year. He's going to be a problem, man, because let me just tell you, he broke one Saturday and Gentry was in a white jersey. He didn't tackle him, bro. He's got 50 more yards right there. Gentry's in a white jersey. That's the only reason he doesn't score. Yep. And he made a couple of other like plays where you're just like, dear God, he just turned that corner. I mean, he is a 100-meter champion. He runs like a 10-2. And I don't know if you saw it, man. The difference in him this year is he got the Nate Frazier treatment in, hey, you're going to need to run through the tackles a little bit. You're going to need to get the ball in tough spots and get some of the nasty yards. But I'm going to tell you something. If you don't tackle him at the line of scrimmage, he's going to be a problem, dude.
Yep.
And
I agree.
I'll tell you another thing they did with him that answered some dog fans' questions is, anybody remember who our third down back was last year? Okay, Cash Jones. A lot of people had, even including us, we had questions about Cash. We love Cash, but how you used Cash was bad. Well, guess what they did with Dwight Phillips on Saturday? He was in there on third down, but you know what he adds a difference to? I don't know if you saw this play, but if any dog fan wants to go catch something that is incredibly crazy is the fact of they third down and we were 4 wide and we ran him out of the backfield and went 0 in the backfield, and he took off, and his first 4 steps, he was on a linebacker and he was missed. He was 20 steps behind this linebacker within about 5 seconds. And if that's something that we're going to see out of third down, it's get ready, man. I watched a lot of this stuff in slow motion. I went and checked out Brooks Austin, the film guy. He broke it down really well too, but he's gonna be a problem, man. Like, he's fast. He's gonna be a problem, dude. When I saw that play, I was like, how in the world do we miss him? And it was just, it was a young quarterback. I think Montgomery was in there, and but they ran him out, man. But how many defenses this year are gonna be like, not realize Dwight Phillips is in the game, and they're going to run him out into the flats, and he's going to be stuck on a linebacker, and you're not catching him, man.
That's
you're
right.
not catching him, man.
No,
so
it would have to be a special linebacker to keep up with him.
Yeah,
or to track him down, or
what do you
tackle
think
him
about
in
Dwight?
open
I mean, I know I talked a lot about him, but what do you think about? I'm excited about him, man. Like, so
Well, he's
excited because I can see him. I thought it might be Nate, but I could see him becoming this third down guy for us.
Oh yeah, easily, dude. And he's got a little power to his game too. He just ran one in from about the 3-yard line. Got hit, got stuck, and then he turned around and just backed on in there, dude. Like, pushed himself in there. And there's nothing, they're hitting, at the line of scrimmage. They're not taking any, plays off. So that man earned that touchdown. He got in there. I agree with everything you said. Definitely, dude. He's somebody that's going to be a problem on third down. And actually, no offense, Cash. Love you. You made some good plays, but you didn't make a lot of good plays, but you made some good plays. But anyway, I have a little more faith in Dwight, just athletically, and, maybe he can stand back there. I don't know about his run blocking, but I hope it's a little better. I think that was one of Cash Jones' weaknesses back there.
Yeah. Well, there were two players that Kirby mentioned, and, so we can get on defense, but two of the most improved offensive players that Kirby Smart mentioned were Jaden Riddell, and I think we can all see some flashes of greatness, and we can see
Brock
Jaden
Bowers
Riddell.
2.0.
Yeah, man, we can see him running some of those Brock Bowers type scenarios. Our tight end room is stupid, man. Like, it's stupid. And then obviously Dwight Phillips, he said it, man. He said they didn't have a bad practice all spring. They were the most hardest working players on the offensive side of the ball this spring practice. They did not have a bad practice, and so it's just good to see. And we could go, the list can go on and on. The one thing I did notice too about the line, you mentioned it, and we got to move on to defense. Is Josh Jackson, man? He's a huge individual besides Gaston, right? I'll tell you, one time I stood up and I was like, they lined him up next to Elias, and Elias is, if I'm not mistaken, Elias is 6'6", 6'7". He towered over this man. Like, he makes, if you want something really hilarious to go see, go Google the image that Glory put out of Josh Jackson lined up near Elias Williams. Elias Williams is 6'6", 6'7", and Josh Jackson is down next to him, and Elias looks like a little boy. And that is a lot, because Elias is not a small guy.
No, not at all.
So I'm excited, man. The offense is going to be, and we got a lot of time over the summer to break down. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna break down projected starting lineups and things of that nature. But I want to give a little insight into G-Day and break down what we saw on the defense. Really quick, Fish, like, first stab at it, like, what were some just organic things you liked about the defense on Saturday?
Oh, the D-line was one of my favorite things. And this number 95, I don't want to mispronounce his name, but I'm gonna. Oga Hopo, or
Ndami Ugboko. Yeah.
Ogboko. There you go. See, I knew I was going to butcher it.
You're good, man. You're good.
But
I'm kind of weird, man. I study names, so you got to be weird to study names.
I know. Well, no, that's smart. We have a podcast. That's probably a really good idea. But yeah, I was very impressed with him. Number 95, big boy in the middle. He's gonna take up a lot of space and help us in the run stopping. The D-line, Raylan didn't play, which kind of made me sad. I know he's nursing something, which is good. That's fine. Ellis didn't play. you know, but that's fine because again, when these starters who we know are solidified and are going to be the number ones, aren't there, that opens the door for us to see a lot more of what our depth and what we got. Heaven forbid something happen, or even when they come in to give the starter a blow. Um, uh, Defense looked good. Defense looked pretty good, which means our offense looked good too. Because if our defense, that's our number ones versus number ones. That's what I liked about the early first quarter when the red versus the black, and then it's all our everybody, all our starters and everybody out there. It was good against good, and you could tell. And for our offense to score on that defense, that gives me hope, man.
Yeah.
But for the struggle and as hard as it was for them to move the ball, and oh my God, how many interceptions did they have? Like four or
Yeah.
five? You know,
Yeah.
that's I know we had some fourth, fifth string quarterbacks in there throwing a couple of these picks too, so it's hard to really judge too much. But I'm excited
Well,
about the D, man.
well, they had I mean, and also you're going to see some of those. I mean, there was two teams in the SEC that televised their spring game. Only a few that had one. Of the two teams that chose to televise them were Georgia and Texas A&M. Now, Kirby, Kirby did what we call like a. I mean, he's only showing what he wants to show, right?
Hmm.
Some of the stuff he doesn't really care. A very vanilla run scheme. I mean, if you look, it was a lot of the blocking was nothing exotic, no pulls. We're not pulling tackles. We're not doing things where people have to put a foot in the ground, right? So none of that, as well as routes. I mean, a lot of the routes were floods. They would flood a zone, or you would see some stuff. Not a lot of. I talked about it on Sunday. Not a lot of stuff where you got to put your foot down. You got to cut. You got to go across the middle, right? But
Yep.
yes, the defense, in my opinion, like before we talk about like really logistically what we saw as far as a group, like I just want to talk about some names that stood out, and then you can chime in on them. Like I'll give you an example, and I want to state this first. Like let's talk about defensive line first. So just so our viewers know, the job of the defensive line, because a lot of people have been saying this, like if we can have a defensive line and a linebacking crew that can cause havoc and get sacks, we're going to be better this year. Okay. I just want to say this. I want to go on record to say this. Our defensive line's job is not to cause havoc. Our defensive line's job is to keep that place clean so our linebackers, who are damn good, can run free. That's their job,
Yep.
right? If they do
Yep.
cause havoc, that's just a plus, right?
Yep.
But we all know that the years that we won the national championship were the years where people like Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, they would take on multiple double teams so that linebackers like N'Kobe Dean and guys like that could run free. And if our linebackers are running free and clean, that run game does not exist. It does not exist because our
Very true.
linebackers are really, really good and they are really, really fast. And
Yep.
so I just want, our listeners sometimes we kind of look at like I mean, Kirby said it, right? 90. Elijah Griffith, I mean, he's not the player he was last year. He was a good player last year, but he's a problem this year. Like he is a problem. He is taking on multiple people. He is going to allow, and I'll be honest with you, man, a lot of people have looked and went Raylan. They start to name things like Raylan, and you look at, Justin Williams, and you look at Chris Cole, and you go, when are they coming on? When are they going to come on with that like presence like we've seen from our linebacking crew this year? Because
It's
that
coming.
defensive line is going to let them run free this year.
Stay tuned. Stay
Yes.
tuned. They're coming.
Because that's what I saw Saturday. So that name, I use that. And Elijah Griffin is not the same guy as he was last year. Another name in there that I would throw out, Fish, I'll let you kind of, if you got one, too, is let's just talk about this kid real quick. We need to name him because you need to know who he is. He already has a nickname. But hold on. I got his nickname, but I don't have his real name, man. It's crazy. Tyreek, man. Tyreek, what's Tyreek's last name? Come on, Fish.
Oh my God.
Here we go. His nickname's Ty Boogie. They call him Ty Boogie, man. He's from Tyreek is from Buford. He knows KJ really well. Tyreek played running back. He played safety. He played cornerback. And Kirby has not been shy about saying everything he likes about this kid. And
he had a pick Saturday.
Yes.
Green is his last name.
Tyree Green. Thank you so much, man. I'm looking down here and I have my bad list come up right here. This is the one that I have to scroll really far right, and sometimes it gets chopped off. Tyree Green. They call him Ty Boogie. Okay. There is no player. First off, Kirby was asked in a presser, how are we going to use Tyree Green this year? And he said, we're going to figure out where we're not good, and we're going to put him there. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Listen, KJ Bolden came in as a 5-star, gotta have athlete that was probably gonna play safety. He's in KJ was probably, would you agree, Fish? He was in the conversations of the Malachi Starks, and some of those guys, and obviously KJ, and I mean, this guy Tyreek, man, but none of these guys, Malachi, who else, man? You name it.
Javon Bullard.
You look at these guys and you go, none of them were allowed to go out there and play cornerback, or maybe they just didn't. What do you think about this kid? What do you think about his upside is for this team?
Well, anybody that can help our secondary, because I think secondary is uber important in the evolving high-powered gunslinging offense that we've been seeing a lot of, especially like the Ole Misses of the world. They like to spread it all out, and it makes me feel better because sometimes we might need to run, have 5 DBs out there. We need to run a nickel, and it's good that we have this depth, or somebody that can come in and make some big plays. And I like what Kirby said, dude. If a head coach, especially Kirby Smart, says that about you, we're going to figure out whoever's not playing good, and that's where he's going.
Yes.
I mean, that's the only thing I need to hear. That's it. I'm good. I'm sold on this kid. Even if I've never seen anything about him or seen him play at all, if Kirby says that about him, I'm done. That's it. Yeah, I'm taking his word for it, because Kirby knows DBs, dude. Kirby knows DBs. That's his specialty.
Dude, this kid is he's out there at corner. He's playing safety. He literally said in the presser, he said he'll go play running back for you if you need him to.
Sweet.
Wow. Wow. I mean, these are only ever talked about from the likes of the Champ Baileys, Obviously, it says a lot for the recruiting of Georgia. Here's another thing that I would tell you before we get to these people is people wonder how they win the NIL game. It's because high school kids are not going to make what the higher classification kids are going to make, saying juniors, sophomores, juniors, and you don't see many seniors nowadays, right, that are getting big time NIL deals.
Yeah.
But also, here's my thing. The locker room talks, right? So if I'm a Chauncey Bowens and Chauncey Bowens is sitting there talking to a Tyree Green, and Tyreek's going, man, look, I'm only making X this year in my NIL deal. And Chauncey goes, here's the thing, man. The good thing about that is you're a freshman and you've never made that amount of money. And there's no person your age right now this summer that is going to make that amount of money at their summer job. Take that money. And guess what? When you are viable to the program, when you come in here, you put your head down, and you work your tail off, you're going to make, and he drops that number on him and he goes, is that what you make right now? And he goes, yes. So what Kirby is saying is it's not all about what we're going to bet on you when you step in the building. It's your work ethic when you get in the building, and your determination and your willingness to stay and be a part of a team that will get you paid off. I think it's a brilliant NIL concept, and I think more coaches, maybe NIL would change a little bit if more coaches did it like that. Because do you agree that we might have missed some quote unquote good talent because we're not paying top dollar? But I mean, tell that to Auburn last year. I don't mean to pick or anything, because I know you got Auburn
That's
in
all
your.
right.
But I mean, tell that to Auburn. Cam Coleman's going to go to Texas this year. There's going to be some pissed off Auburn fans. Cam
A
Coleman's
lot.
going to go off this year. Like, he's going to
Yep.
go off. He needs to, because he's making about $4 million, but he
Got
needs
his
to.
Lambo.
But yeah, Eric Singleton, he's going to go off this year at Florida. He will. There'll be some pissed off Auburn people, right? Because
Yep.
guess what? Last year, that was $5 million of your roster. And you really didn't capitalize on it, right? So I
Yep.
like what's going on with NIL, and I like what's going on with how that works into our defense. What are some other names? Give me another name, Fish, that stood out for you on the defensive side of the ball on Saturday.
Jamari Riddle made some plays. He looked good.
Okay.
I like him. He's my guy from as soon as he transferred over. Like, I was like, watch this kid. He's gonna play. He's gonna see the field a lot and make some big plays for us. Very, very, very impressed with him. What's the Quintavious Johnson had a strong day.
Love it. New
Yep.
number, new look, right?
Oh, I like the new number. I like it. Number 3. I like it. I love single digit linebackers, dude. And he's a good pass rusher, and he's tall, and he's got long arms, so he can, deflect balls. Man, he's a all around good guy. I liked him last year. Like, I like the way he looks in his pads. He looks like a mean, somebody you definitely don't want to get hit by.
His pads are always sticking out of his jersey, man. It reminds you of that old school linebacker that just doesn't give a crap. All they care about is just hitting you.
I don't care what I look like, but I'm about to destroy you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, I love that one. Another person that really stood out to me, in my opinion, I really liked what I saw out of So Justin Williams he definitely is a guy who's an undersized linebacker. But there were some plays that Georgia fans that know football, I'll say it again, Georgia fans that know football will see how valuable Justin Williams is going to be to this defense this year.
Big time.
There were times where the ability and his quickness to see a play and make one move to just disrupt it on a dime. We all know if the pass rush is good and you disrupt the play. See, disruption is not always about making the quarterback run for his life. It's about taking away the options that he really wants to make him have to figure out where he needs to go. And if we don't give him time to figure out where he can go, that's where a sack comes, right? But there was multiple times where Justin Williams would stick his head in because he's so quick. A lot of stuff in the flats that he would take away on Saturday. That if you don't have that quickness at linebacker, it gets there too quick, and we lose outside containment. And we know for years, Georgia was a team that we struggled in the area of containment because, in my opinion, I mean, we all remember. I think it was last year. I think the year after the national championship, and then last year we struggled sometimes with the run because of containment. And so that is something that turning the plays back in are huge. You can tell that the Georgia defense this year is very focused on making sure that it's assignment ready. There are people that are really running a clean end. Ajonye did an incredible job. You can run yourself out of plays, and a Georgia offense, that's where they want you to do that stuff, right? There's so many times where Ajonye was like, I can get involved in this play, but he didn't, because little did you know that if he didn't contain, that's where Chauncey Bowens was not allowed to bounce a lot of plays back outside. And that's where Chauncey probably could have had a better day than he did have, right?
Yeah.
So it was good to see all that. It was really good to see that. Anybody else that kind of stuck out to you on your list? I could go on and on. I mean, there's a lot of players we didn't see. Obviously, Gabe Harris, Zayden Walker, obviously Amaris. I was kind of intrigued to hear the positivity behind Kirby's voice to go, we think this ACL could be something where we might see Amaris Williams back before the end of the year. I mean, I didn't think about it. We are in, in April,
If you're gonna tear your ACL, early off season would be the appropriate time to do it with a shot, especially now with the way these kids rehab, and can come back from these things, bounce back from these injuries that used to, be season enders, see you next year kind of things. But now with, the way the medical game is evolved, man, these kids can come bounce back a lot faster. Plus, they're in better shape now than kids were 20, 30 years ago. I mean, these kids have more access to all the best, weight room equipment and yada yada yada, state of the art, top of the line, all this, all that. But saying all that, where is he? Where is he? Where is he?
I thought Gentry looked good. He was in a white jersey, but he looked fast. I'm just kind of plugging for you while you're looking. But Braylon Conley, the
That's
USC
who I was
transfer.
That's the guy.
Yeah,
That's who I was looking for. That's what I was thinking about. That's the name. That's the guy.
24.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He looked good. He definitely looked good.
I thought, man, like you can obviously tell who's right behind Ellis and who's going to be. I mean, it was good to see that, right? Because
Yeah.
you think you have a good take that Mello and Ellis are going to be out there, but to see Braylon Conley playing at a high level like that, that's
Yep.
really encouraging, especially when you're looking at. I mean, on top of that, you haven't added. They've been flirting with between Braylon Conley. You're looking at Jonte Gilbert, who can go out there as well, and a plethora of young guys. But I think it's very key for Braylon because he's a guy with, and Gentry as well. I mean, we went out and got these guys intentionally because
Oh yeah.
of just needing, SEC caliber guys to come in and go. We've seen some SEC ball. Some of these
Yep.
freshmen are going to be good, but let's just be honest. The game moves a lot faster. And
Yep.
not jumping back to offense, but that's one thing I'll say about Caden Prothro. Dog fans can't get very discouraged because we have a very good tight end room, and I think we're going to find ways to use Prothro. I think he's going to be more of a hybrid than he is a tight end. But people have to remember,
Yeah.
like, there were plays that showed Prothro's youth on Saturday. Like, he made a really great catch on a slant. But maybe at Bowden High School, in Atlanta, you can catch that ball and you can outrun somebody to the corner. Not in the SEC. So that
Oh
I would have loved to see him catch that ball and get north. But
yeah.
instead, we ended up. It was just a 3-yard chunk play, but it could have been a 9-yard play if he would have just got north. So he's got
Yep.
some growth. I mean, that's an example of what Kirby's talking about. He's like, look, I'm not trying to keep freshmen off the field, but you got to understand if you're coming in with the mentality of a high school kid, but you're now in college, it's going to take time, right?
Yep.
So
Especially on
yeah,
this stage, dude. This is top tier college football.
yeah,
It's a giant leap. I know high school football in North Georgia is like serious, some of the best in the nation. I get that, but it's a different world, man, and he's going to have to mentally, adjust. And I'm
yeah.
sure he will. Georgia's got great coaches, and they'll have him where he needs to be. He reminds me of that guy. Oh my God, I can't think of his name. He played tight end for the Saints a lot with Drew Brees.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
he was kind of a hybrid guy. Like he was running streaks
What his
downfield.
first name
Catching
like Billy or something? Billy?
it's something like I can't remember. Oh my God, his name's escaping me right now.
I know who
He
you're
played
talking
for
about now.
Seattle eventually.
Yeah,
But anyway, he was really good. He reminds me a lot of him. Prothro does.
yeah,
That
yeah.
kind
I
of
like
guy who can slide out, play wide, run block. Do all these things.
right. Yeah, Prothro is he's gonna be great, man. But I feel like you gotta pump the brakes on the fact of. I mean, Ethan Barbour is a special guy. I mean, I think if Ethan doesn't go down last year, he is in the running to play a lot of tight end last year. But Ellis has improved a lot. Lawson Lucky has not taken a step back. I think
Nope.
those are going to be the 3 go-to guys. That's why I have a feeling that Billy Graham is who you're looking for. Is it not? It's not
Yep.
Billy Graham, is it?
Oh, it's Justin Graham. Is it Justin? I think it's Justin.
We're both
Or was
wrong.
it
Hold on
Billy?
one second, bro. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta Google this, man, because we do this to ourselves. Jimmy
We do.
Graham. Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy. There you
Justin.
go.
Jimmy, Justin, Billy.
Justin,
Billy Graham's
Jimmy,
a pastor, by the way.
Billy. Yes, he is.
Billy Graham's a pastor, by the way. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
right. He
there we go.
sure is.
So listen, as we get into, what, final thoughts on like overall G-Day stuff as far as defense wrap up. I was with Rich Man last night, and we wanted to give 4 things. We can go back and forth. 4 things that you can bet on that you saw on Saturday that will replay come when the football season opens. In other words, you're not going to be deceived by this. This is not something that, you know, was put on display because it's not something that it's going to transpire in the season. I know some things we said on offense last night is I think you can bank on Gunnar Stockton being better this year, right? I think for Georgia, I love Gunnar, but Gunnar has to be even better if we're going to vie for a national championship.
I was about to say
Things
the
of
same
that
thing.
nature. I think you can bet on those things, right? You can bet on the fact that we are going to we're going to display the tight end, right, on offense. You
Yep.
can bet on that, right? I think you can bet on the fact that our offensive line is going to be able to, you said it earlier, that we're going to do as good or better of a job protecting Gunnar to give him a little bit more comfortableness in the pocket this year, right? So what do you
One
think? What do you
gets
think is
done,
some?
it's going to take a big leap forward.
Yeah, what do you think is some
He's going to take a
defensive
big leap
things for
forward.
our viewers that might be like, listen, you saw this on Saturday. I think you're going to continue to see this come first game of fall. You go 1, we'll go 4. We'll give them 4. You can take 1. I'll take the second one, obviously 3rd and 4th.
All right. Our pass rush is going to be improved. I don't care if they were playing two-hand touch or not. I think Kirby made it a focal point. I think the guys we had last year have come a long way, and we saw it at the end of the year last year. Pass rush is not going to be something that people are making fun of us for this year, like they were last year. That's
Right.
a guarantee.
Right. Also, to give fans a little insight, there was less than 20% of the plays on defense that were called were stunts. So we're talking about minimal stunts on blitzes that were sometimes getting home on a really good offensive line. So we're not talking about any kind of, once again, we're not trying to risk injury. And sometimes when linemen are called to step in and pick up stunts, like you're risking injury right there. And so you were seeing a lot of that pressure come from just straight up. I mean, it's straight up man football down there. And we got it done a few times. So I like that comment, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, 100%. I think our pass rush will be better this year. Remember what I said, though. If our defensive line, which is improved, and we did not see Gabe Harris, and we didn't see Jordan Hall on.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we didn't see Gabe Harris, didn't see Jordan Hall on that line. Then we haven't really begun to kind of show our hand in that matter. So I like that one. The second thing I will tell you is I really think that our corners, I think our corners and secondary are going to be better in coverage this year. I just think they are. I think we're going to see. I don't want to call it an improved. I think you're seeing some technique and some T-Rob stuff partnered with our cornerbacks coach. I think we're starting to do some things to really mature some of our back end of our defense. If you notice, I'll give you one example. You can already tell we have changed our deep ball technique, right? I think we've seen Georgia in the past when we get beat by the deep ball. It's because we want to cause havoc, we want to cause turnovers. But how many times have you seen Georgia players high point a football to go for an interception, and instead of getting the interception, we get hit for a big play, right?
Or they fall down. They just fall down.
Or they fall down. The end goal, I don't think. I mean, what's a win on a deep ball? What's a win? I mean, I think Georgia kind of showed it to you on Saturday. A win is we get to go back to the line of scrimmage and do it over again. Because we are running, our technique is we are running the receiver out of bounds. We are giving him minimal room to make a catch. And I agree with that to some factor, because even if he goes up and makes a spectacular catch, he's got to put 2 feet down and he's got to get out of bounds, and we deal with it. We live to play another down, right? So those small nuances let me believe that, between Dante Williams and T-Rob, we're doing our part with coaching up our secondary. And I think what you're seeing from our secondary and the additions of, I got to figure out a nickname for him. They're calling him Ty Boogie, but if Tyree Green is going to be the guy they put where we're not good at, I don't know, man. We just got to figure out a nickname for him. But I think this is going to be a really good secondary this year. Third thing,
I
what do you think,
agree.
Fish? What do you think?
Uh, I just back. Ellis Robinson has matured and grown so much, and I think we have two DBs who we can safely put out there on the island. And like I'm just sitting here shaking my head because like I'm just thinking about all the talent that we have on that side of the ball right now. It's awesome, and
Yeah,
it's such a relief because it's not something that we've always had. And like this is our scheme. We play man, we blitz, and with Demelo and Ellis, back like with all the like with the steps forward they took this year, I feel so much better. And our safety game, like it's the secondary is all around like one of the most improved groups on any side of the ball.
yeah. And we recruited. I mean, we went in the portal and intentionally did some things there. I mean, with Riddle, with Khalil Barnes, we haven't mentioned anything about Khalil. Khalil had a very solid game at G Day. I
Yes,
mean,
he did.
he was able to go places, and he's a veteran back there. He's seen a lot of those looks, and he's able to do some good things. I mean, I'm excited about that. I agree with that. I like the matureness of Ellis Robinson is definitely a plus. I would say my fourth thing, very simple thing here, but when you look at scheme and you look at the discipline in our scheme, we 2 years ago, when I feel like our run defense was at its worst, was when we did not understand our roles in our scheme. We talked about it earlier. Our defensive line's job is not to, it's a plus to create havoc, but our job
Yep.
is to keep our linebackers clean. Let them run, right? Don't let them.
Yep.
We can't let offensive linemen get to the second level and muddy up that second level, because then what happens? Then you're relying on the KJ Boldens and the guys out there that are supposed to be covering have to step up in the box and make a tackle, right? That's
Yep.
not what we want. So I think our scheme, and I think we showed this. I think you can guarantee this. I think we're going to be more disciplined. If you don't think Glenn Schumann and Trey Scott have heard this for the last 2 years, they're not dumb. And I do think that Mike Bobo caught a lot of flack, year before last, and he even caught it last year, right?
Yep.
I mean, we won't talk about it, but I talked about it a couple weeks back. Steve Smith decided to go on a podcast and call Gunnar Stockton poo poo and all these other things and talk about Mike Bobo. But at the end of the day, I just want you to know that like Mike Bobo, he had an offense that finished top 5 in the SEC, and 2 of those offenses also were top 5 in the country. Just so you know, right?
Yep.
So at the end of the day, I don't know, man. Like what do you want from the guy? He's putting up numbers and you
Listen,
get the ball to playmakers.
all of the complaining, and I'm one of the biggest complainers about what we're doing. I have lots of strong opinions, and I'm not the biggest Bobo fan. Even when he was a player to now where he's a coach, the first stint he had with Rick as the offensive coordinator, and now he's back. A lot of it, looking back, especially in his Rick time, we had some guys, but there was just it wasn't happening. Like people were getting hurt or suspended. Like not all of it was his fault. And then he went away, and he had a couple of head coaching stops and a couple coordinator stops before he made his way back. And he grew up a lot, I think, and picked up a lot, especially from like that's a couple of years on working with Todd Monken. I think that helped him out a lot because Todd Monken, believe whatever you want to say about him in the NFL, the man was a great offensive coordinator. Like he made Stetson, I think, well, them working like that, their ability to come together and like figure out something like a way to run the offense where Stetson can shine, I think was just awesome. And I think Bobo is able to do that now with Stockton. I think you're going to really see that this year.
Well, yeah, and if Bobo goes out and wins the net, I mean, things have been said. I mean, David Pollock said if Gunnar Stockton's the same quarterback, then this team doesn't have a chance to win a national championship. Multiple people have said if Mike Bobo, no, you're not going to win a national championship with Mike Bobo as your offensive coordinator.
We'll
And
see.
even Steve Smith, what he said about Zachariah Branch and the productivity and the things that they gave for him. Zachariah Branch, I think I mentioned this the other day. He had in 2 seasons at USC, he encompassed 800 yards of total catch yardage, right?
Yep.
And in one season, I don't care how you got him the ball. But I mean, in the SEC, you're not going to be high pointing the ball to Zach Branch every play. I don't know if
No.
anybody looked at his height lately, but it's not of the 6'4", 6'5" caliber.
No, he's like
to be
5'9".
Yeah. So my thing is there's a reason why Zachariah Branch came to Georgia and encompassed the most catches in the seasons he ever had, which is I think it was 90 plus receiving, 80 plus. He had 88 catches, 90 catches last year.
Yeah, it was
And
like
by the way, he had
85,
over
86.
900 yards, which was double his productivity at USC in 2 seasons.
Yep.
And just so everybody knows, just so all the Georgia fans know, his offensive coordinator is Lincoln Riley, who is one of the more prolific offensive coordinators slash flashy minds of the offensive scheme in the game right now. So
Yep.
if Lincoln Riley and his great offensive mind can't figure out a way to get everything we saw as Zachariah Branch more than 400 yards a year, but Todd Monken can get him the ball. And I don't care how the hell you got it to him. I don't care if you deliver it to him in a damn dump truck. He had 900 yards of total offense, 80 plus catches, and he's going to be a top 3 to 4 round pick Thursday night. No, not Thursday
Yep.
night, probably, but maybe Friday, Saturday, right?
I think he's second round. I think he's second, third round. But that
If
doesn't
he
take
goes
anything away
second-
from him.
If he goes
That's
second,
just
man,
that's just
I'll
strictly
be
based on height. Strictly
I'll be
based on height.
so
That's all.
proud of that, you know?
Yep.
But I mean, I think like we've all had our Bobo moment, but like at some point in time, like can we just stop the stupidity? Like the guy is like, how many coaches have been plugged out, have been kicked out of the SEC because they couldn't find? I mean, Steve Sarkisian. Let's go here real quick, okay? Steve Sarkisian has had 2 of the more prolific names. I'm not saying quarterbacks, names. They're names that are glorified in college football, right? Arch Manning, Quinn Ewers, right? Quinn Ewers is supposed to be God's gift to quarterbacks when he came to Texas from Ohio State. Arch Manning was supposed to be God's gift to quarterbacks. We were going to break records at Texas. Texas was going to win national championships. Steve Sarkisian, one of the best offensive minds in the game. Texas's offense has digressed every year under Steve Sarkisian.
Yep.
Go look it up. Don't believe me. Go look it up.
Yep.
And you are sitting there with 2 quarterbacks, one Arch Manning that Georgia went after, right? But we dog Mike Bobo every day when the offense has, I mean, you can look and say there's years that it digressed, there's years that it that it outdid itself. But every single year it has put us in contention to win the national championship. It won the SEC. It won the SEC.
Bobo's fault. It wasn't Bobo's fault that we didn't beat Bama in the regular season, and it wasn't his fault we lost to Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl. It wasn't his fault.
Agreed.
There's somebody else making important decisions on gameplay, and I'm not blaming Kirby either, because what's his name, Chambliss, played out of his mind, and there was nothing that we could do. We got out of scheme, we got out of position, we overran, we took bad angles. Like there's a lot of reasons why they went down and scored that last touchdown that wasn't Mike Bobo's fault.
Right.
Bobo had us in that game, calling the plays he played, running the offense we did. What did we score? It was like, what did we score? 37 points, something like that. You can win a lot of games scoring that many points. Our defense let us down. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's that. That's not his fault. Move on. Like it's beating a dead horse at this point.
Yeah. I just think you're going to see some really cool things this year, man. I mean, this will be a year where everybody's kind of going, well, what about the wide receiver room? Listen, you didn't see much of Canyon. Do you look at that and go, okay, well, that's weird? Scobie, White Helton, they didn't play. London Humphreys was out, didn't play. They're going to be fine, but they didn't have a reason to be out there and show anything. If there was anything borderline, they didn't need to be out there.
About that. Think about all we saw and all the hope and the promise we saw and all the big plays and the speed and everything we saw out of these young guys. We're not. Most of our starters weren't out there.
Yeah.
I mean, half of them were, but half of them weren't. Think about that.
Yeah, you had a children's dose of Gunner. You had a children's dose of Nate Frazier. You had no Sokovia White Helton. You had no London Humphreys. You had a small portion of Canyon. You had a small portion of Lawson Lucky. You had no You had no Gabe. Uh, you have no Gabe Harris.
Yep,
You
no Gabe
had
Harris.
no Jordan Hall. Limited Xavier McLeod. You had no
DeMello,
Raylan.
Ellis.
You had no Ellis. You had no Raylan. So I mean, I mean, it's always a long off season. It's always a long summer. But the thing is, man, I think it was an exciting G-Day game. I think Kirby and them did some good things. They didn't make it boring. They did some things that would keep us out of injury stuff. I think to come out with, obviously Nate and the ankle sprain, for that to be it, I mean, that's a blessing. And we got a lot accomplished. We saw a lot of quarterbacks. I think you mentioned it, 7 quarterbacks. We saw 19 to 20 different offensive linemen. A lot of players played on Saturday. But hey, man, 100th episode, man, comes to a close. It's been a ride, man, but it's been really awesome.
It's been a
to
fun
get
ride.
into the next 100, right? But final thoughts, man, on G-Day. We put G-Day to bed. We're going to venture back into G-Day, but we put G-Day to bed and we find some interesting topics. I think next show we're going to do something really cool, and we're going to venture out and just talk what would an all Kirby Smart team look like, and we're going to give our viewers a little ahead of time to get your list together. But I've got a list together, and I think it'll be fun, man. Like who's your go-to, edge, safety, tight end? I know we got some good ideas already what they would be. I think it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be exciting. But Fish, any final words, man, on the closing the doors on the 100th episode?
I keep watching. I'm watching the game right now, and I keep watching Dowdell, that transfer from Kentucky. And if you're not watching him, if you're not excited about what you're seeing, I mean, he's going to our running backs are going to be a lot of our offense this year. And if they're not, I'm going to be mad. Like Gunner's going to find his guys. He's going to find his playmakers. It usually it took us a couple of games, for him to find, like Zach Branch didn't come out of the gate first couple of games of the season and do what he did. That they didn't build that connection until a few games into the season. And while we're waiting on that to happen this year, our running backs are going to carry the load, and they're going to hurt some people. Like no safety, no cornerback is going to want anything to do with some of these guys, dude. I'm telling you. Punishing, running, hard nose. I love it.
I agree, man. I'll probably watch the G-Day game about 10 more times in the offseason.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But Fish, always a pleasure, man. Hey, dog fans out there, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. Just your support is appreciated. If you haven't already done so, episode 100, part 1, with myself and Rich Man talking more in depth about the offense as well, is already up. It's on Apple Podcasts. You can go check it out right now. And then this one will be up 24 hours from now. So if you missed anything with it, go and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook, as well as TikTok, Dogs Down South. Like we said earlier, any platform that's got a podcast, if you go type in Dogs Down South, you'll probably find us. So please go like us, follow us, and let us know what you think. And we're so grateful that you've been with us for, if you're here for the first time or if you're here for 100 episodes. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. For myself, for the Fish Man, Adam Fisher, 100 episodes come to a close, and we look forward to the off season, and we count down the days until game 1, where we're between the hedges in Athens. Actually, we're counting down the days until they say fall practice begins, because that's where it starts to feel like it's warming up, man.
Yep, it's coming.
Fish,
right around the corner.
Always a pleasure, man. Dog fans, you guys have a great week, and as always on Dogs Down South, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.